Welcome to College Football Week 14 predictions video. Yes, it's on a Wednesday. I normally do this on Thursday, but I want to get these predictions today because, yes, tomorrow is Thanksgiving. So we do want to make sure we celebrate Thanksgiving with our family. So for today, College Football Week 14 predictions, and there is a lot on the line. Not only playoff implications, but rivalry week. Yes, these rivalry games are going to be very intense. We'll start on Thursday, tomorrow, on Thanksgiving. Navy going up against Memphis at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Memphis is a 5.5 point favorite. Navy are still in the race for the American Athletic Conference Championship game, which there's still hope for them. They just need they need North Texas or Tulane, Toulouse for them to get in. But for Memphis, they'll look to spoil Navy's chances. I like Memphis. Memphis wins by 5. Then on Friday, this is where rivalry week begins. Number 7, Ole Miss taking on Mississippi State at 12 p.m. Eastern on ABC. Mississippi is a 7.5. Actually, Ole Miss, I'm sorry. Ole Miss is a 7.5 point favorite. So this is the Egg Bowl rivalry game between these two programs. Lane Kiffin will be the big story. Will he stay at Ole Miss or will he be taking the LSU job, which has been speculated that LSU is are probably getting ready to bring in Lane Kiffin as their head coach. That is not confirmed. It's just LSU has a deal for Lane Kiffin. I think Mississippi State needs this more because if they win, they get bowl eligible. However, I will say Ole Miss will clinch their spot to the playoffs. Ole Miss wins by 4. Number 13, Utah taking on Kansas at 12 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Utah is a 13.5 point favorite, and Utah is coming off a huge comeback win against Kansas State. Despite their head-to-head, there is a chance they can sneak in the Big 12 title game, but it looks like that may not happen. But going up against Kansas, who they're still one win away to clinch bowl eligible, and they have to do it in Kansas. So that is a huge game for the Kansas Jayhawks. Give me Utah on spoiled senior night in Kansas. Utah wins by 10. Iowa taking on Nebraska, 12 p.m. Eastern on CBS. Iowa is a 4.5 point favorite. Rivalry game, of course. I don't know if y'all know this, but George Kittle was commenting Will Kemerton about their rivalry between Iowa and Nebraska. If you have not seen that, go check that out on the ESPN YouTube channel. I think there is a George Kittle calling out Will Kempton about Iowa and Nebraska. But this should be a real good game being played in Nebraska. Last year, Iowa took it. So I'm going to say Iowa finished this season strong. Give me the Hawkeyes by 5. Number 4, Georgia taking on 23rd ranked Georgia Tech at 3:30 p.m. Eastern on ABC. Georgia is a 13.5 point favorite. Georgia, their only chance to get to the SEC title game is with A&M losing or Bama lose. So that's their scenario because, again, they're not playing a conference game. They're playing a non-conference game, rivalry game against Georgia Tech, who are still want to forget about the loss to Pitt, and their chances to the ACC title game is about 0% chance. So they have to finish the season strong. Last year, they had a great game, a shootout. Georgia prevailed in that game. I think this is going to be a good game to watch. Give me Georgia by 7. Number 3, Texas A&M taking on the number 16 team in the country, Texas, at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on ABC. Texas A&M is a 2.5 point favorite. The Aggies only need to do is to beat Texas, and they are in the SEC title game, which also would eliminate Georgia for contending to the SEC title game. Depends on what happens to Alabama and Auburn. But they need this huge because they're undefeated in the conference. And of course, there's a lot of head-to-head goings with Georgia losing to Bama, but they still beat Ole Miss. Going up against Texas, who Arch Manny's had 6 touchdown day. And here, the last time these two met, Texas destroyed Texas A&M, and they spoiled A&M's chance to go to the SEC title game because the winner of that game was going to go to Atlanta and play Georgia. So here, I'm going to say A&M pulls it off. They'll finally get to where they've never been before, the SEC title game. A&M will win by 1 point. Number 25, Arizona, taking on 20th ranked Iowa State at 9 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Arizona is a 1.5 point favorite. It's a rivalry game between two schools. Now, Arizona State will not go back to the Big 12 title game, unfortunately. So they'll look to finish the season strong. But for Arizona, what a story from losing Jetfish last season. And then this year, they're going in their winning directions right now. But I'm going to go with Arizona. Arizona upsets Arizona State. Wildcats win by 3. Then we go to Saturday. This is the game of the week. It is the game. Number 1 team in the country, Ohio State, taking on the 15th ranked Michigan Wolverines at 12 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Ohio State is an 11.5 point favorite. I will be watching this game. And here is what is on the line. Ohio State is the number 1 team in the country, but a win. They're in the Big Ten title game, but their kryptonite, the Michigan Wolverines, have a lucky number that to let Buckeyes fans know they beat them 4 years in a row. They're trying to make it 5 in a row. So can they do it? This is strength versus strength. Michigan's running game versus Ohio State's rush defense. I know that Buckeyes defense has been tremendous, but they were never been tested. Their only best test was against Texas, although it was 14-7, by the way. So, with that being said, being played in Ann Arbor, in Michigan, and Michigan fans, I think there's still a chance for them to get in the Big Ten title game. They just need to beat Ohio State and have Oregon losing to Washington for them to go to the Big Ten title game. But here, give me Michigan upset Ohio State, and they will go out and win it by 4. Number 12, Miami, taking on 22nd ranked Pitt at 12 p.m. Eastern on ABC. Miami is a 6.5 point favorite. Miami, they need a lot if they're going to get to the ACC championship game, despite being the highest ranked conference team, which, by the way, they don't deserve to be in there. They need to beat Pitt. They need Virginia Tech to beat Virginia and Cal to beat SMU if they're going to be in the championship game. Meanwhile, for the Pittsburgh Panthers, they're coming off an impressive road win against Georgia Tech, eliminate them for the ACC title game, and they need a lot. They need Virginia Tech or SMU to lose for them to get into the ACC title game, and they have won this before. They won it in 2021. So can they do it this year? This should be a real fun game being played in Pittsburgh. I like Pittsburgh. I like Pittsburgh's chances to upset Miami and give me Pittsburgh. Yeah, give me Pittsburgh by 5. Clemson taking on South Carolina at 12 p.m. Eastern on SEC Network. South Carolina is a 2.5 point favorite. Listen, Clemson, congratulations. Welcome to bowl eligible once again, despite your season is not going well. They're going to take on the Gamecocks, who, their season not in the direction most of us expect them to go. But This is a rivalry game. Last time these two teams met, South Carolina went out to Clemson's home turf and they upset them. I think Clemson does it again. Clemson wins by 3. Houston taking on Baylor at 12 p.m. Eastern on TNT. Baylor is a 2.5-point favorite. Uh, Baylor just one more win to get bowl eligible. While for Houston, their season is I'm going to tell you, their season was really incredible. With Willie Freeze as second-year head coach, and Connor Weckman had a great year with Houston. I'm going to say Houston wins it. They win it by 3. Number 6, Oregon taking on Washington at 3:30 p.m. Eastern on CBS. Oregon is a 7.5-point favorite. Now, Oregon, if they're going to get in the Big Ten title game, they need Ohio State to lose and Oregon for them to win and get into the Big Ten title game. If they lose to their rivals, Washington, they are eliminated in the Big Ten title game, and who knows what happens with Michigan or Ohio State. Huskies, yeah, second-year Jetfish, good year, but couldn't pull off some big-time wins in the Big Ten. Here, this is a tough one because Washington, their offense is really good. Their defense has been struggling, by the way. And they're going to play a Ducks team that their offense is so legit. They're coming off a huge win against USC. So you know what? I'm gonna say Oregon still prevails. Oregon wins by 4. LSU taking on 8th-ranked Oklahoma at 3:30 p.m. Eastern on ABC. Oklahoma is a 10.5-point favorite. A win for the Sooners. They should be locking into the playoffs. While for LSU, they'll hope to spoil their chance to the playoffs. So give me Oklahoma by 11. Then another rivalry in Tennessee. Number 14, Vanderbilt taking on 19th-ranked Tennessee at 3:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Tennessee is a 3.5-point favorite. The Vanderbilt won a season for them, but they are trying to keep in the race for the college football playoffs. But against Tennessee, it's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy in Knoxville. But anything is possible on rivalry week. Give me Vanderbilt beating Tennessee. They win by 3. Wisconsin taking on Minnesota at 3:30 p.m. Eastern on FS1. Minnesota is a 2.5-point favorite. Why do I have this game as a predictions? Well, it's the battle for the axe. Yeah, if you remember that. Wisconsin is coming off a huge win against Illinois at home. They're going to take on Minnesota, who, they clinched bowl eligible, but their season has been up and down, so they should be okay this year. I like Minnesota in this one, being played at home. Love their fan base there in Minnesota, so give me Minnesota by 4. Virginia Tech taking on 18th-ranked Virginia at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Virginia is an 11.5-point favorite. This game is huge for Virginia and is being played in Charleston, I think it's in Charleston, in Virginia's home turf. So this is a huge game for Virginia for them to clinch their spot in the ACC title game. Speaking of Virginia Tech, they didn't have enough for them to beat Miami, but their season's not been right in the direction where they wanted. And now with James Franklin hired, things are going to look very good in the future for Virginia Tech. So ultimately, Virginia, I'm going to give Virginia this win. Give me Virginia. They win by 12. Number 10, Alabama taking on Auburn at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on ABC. Alabama is a 3.5-point favorite, and their only scenario to go to the SEC title game is to win, and they're in. Why they should win and not Georgia? Because remember, they had a head-to-head against Georgia, and they beat Georgia. So that's the reason why Alabama has a better chance to go to the SEC title game than Georgia is. But going up against Auburn, look, you fire head coach, you bench Jackson Arnold for your freshman quarterback. I don't know. What's the worst case scenario? And being played at home in Auburn, give me Alabama. Rivalry Iron Bowl belongs to Alabama, and they will take on Texas A&M in the SEC title game. Bama wins by 10. UCLA taking on number 17 USC at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on NBC. USC is a 20.5-point favorite. Listen, Trojans fans, what a season for you guys. Despite, I know, you lose to Oregon, which is a tough one, but at least finish the season strong for the potential future of you guys maybe winning the Big Ten. But going up against UCLA, who are just looking forward to next season and see who their new head coach is going to be. So give me the Trojans. USC wins by 21. And then finally, number 21 SMU taking on Cal at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. SMU is a 10.5-point favorite. SMU, a win, and Pitt loses, or Miami must lose. I don't know where this goes for my SMU. But a win for SMU may have given them a chance to clinch their second straight ACC title game. But going up against Cal, who they just fired their head coach after their embarrassing loss to Stanford. Here, give me SMU winning it on the road. SMU wins by 5. That's it for my college football week 14 predictions. I hope you guys enjoy your Thanksgiving and some college football. Because yes, rivalry week. You never know what happens. And we wish these teams the best of luck to see who will be heading to their conference championship games. And yes, I will be watching the game. Ohio State and Michigan, 12 p.m. Eastern on Fox. If you have not seen my other videos, go check them out on my channel. Of course, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for more sports news.